Hi. Over the last 48 hours, I've had some amazing conversations with my family and friends about leadership, culture, bullying and harassment, and my role on my job at Southern Raw Water. And I've been reflecting, as I imagine all of you have been as well, on the data and the analysis that we've received from InSync and People Matter surveys and the learning needs analysis and what this means. And as a result, I've decided to do this video because I want to do something different. And this video comes with a request that asks you to join me in doing something different and making a change at Southern Raw Water. One of the biggest realisations I've had in the last 48 hours is that I've taken my role as an executive with Southern Raw Water for granted. This may seem an odd realisation, I'm not sure, but what I've reflected on is that I go about my work treating every person in Southern Raw Water the same, with the same, I would say, respectful. I would treat Clinton the same way as I treat Val, or Nicole Griffin the same way I treat Nicole Wright. And the thing is, I've realised that that's not actually very fair. Our staff require more from me. They look to me for guidance, for decision making, for support, for encouragement, and specifically they look to me for direction. What to do next? Where are we going? So as a leader, I'm responsible for where we're heading, what our culture is, and actually making a change. Another reflection I've had is around culture and what it means to have a great place to work. I've spoken to most of you about my experience at the department and why I left that role. And I probably haven't been as explicit in the impact or some of the experiences I had. So an example was when I was sitting in a meeting one day, surrounded by directors and managers, extremely crisis-driven meeting. We had to deliver 60 employees to the Parkville Youth Justice Centre by October 1, and we're up to 20. And I was directed a question to answer about how our team were travelling, where we're at, and I actually couldn't answer the question. I had a panic attack. I felt sick, I broke out in a sweat, and I had to defer to my colleague to my left and ask him to answer the question for me. And I was so humiliated and ashamed and embarrassed that I couldn't do my job in that moment in time. And I blamed myself. I thought I was incompetent, thought I was the one with the problem. I got to the point when I was working at that organisation where I didn't eat during the day. I couldn't eat when I was in one of the department's offices. And I discovered a juice bar around the corner where I would buy a 200 calorie juice to get me through the day. It was just a veggie juice. That was all that my stomach or throat could take in, and a coffee. I lost 8 kilos in 6 months and didn't sleep much either. The impact that job had on my well-being, or the culture had on my well-being, was incredible, and it impacted the way I was living my life and how I felt about myself. My self-esteem was just shot. I made the decision to leave because I blamed myself. I blamed myself that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't aggressive enough, that I wasn't strong enough to work in that organisation. And I took the blame. And it wasn't until over the last week and meeting with people at the Diversity Inclusion Council where I realised that so often people will blame themselves, victims blame themselves for the circumstances they're in. And I don't want any of our staff to feel an ounce of what I felt. I want our staff to come to work and feel safe, and that they have someone that they could talk to if things aren't going well, that they enjoy their job, that they have purpose and they have supports, and they feel it's a great place to work. That's how they go home. At the end of the night, they talk to their family and friends and say this is a great place to work. So I've got a few ideas, a lot of ideas, and not sure if they'll all work, not sure if you'll agree with them all, but I'm going to throw them out here. And the first one is that I want to do a series of videos and roadshows about bullying, and how much it impacts an individual and their well-being, and that we, Southern Rural Water and the executive, have zero tolerance for bullying. The second lot of videos or workshops and forums could be around talking with our staff about their experience at Southern Rural Water. What does it feel like to be in Headworks, in the finance team? What do they enjoy about their job? What do they get out of their job? What would they like to see change? What would make a difference? I've also thought about that I can't do this by myself, that I know I will have 50 Risk Wizard items from the last board meeting. So what could each of you do with me to make another idea I've got is to clean up our work sites. So we have a beautiful Maffra office. We have a redevelopment of Werribee, which is exciting for the staff there. I'd like to provide or create the same work environments for all of our depot and field staff. So each of them feel proud to work at Southern Rural Water because of the environment they work in. That they have clean, bright, welcoming environments where they feel valued, and they feel that their work and their areas of respite from sun, weather, their smoko brew rooms are welcoming, clean, great places to be. I also think there's an opportunity to move some staff around, maybe not permanently, but from a safety point of view, there are areas in the business where we're doing a fantastic job, and some of those supervisors or managers could share their experience and knowledge with somewhere else. So maybe there's some shadowing or secondment opportunities of moving people across the organisation. I'd like to see each of you involved in health, safety and wellbeing, employee consultative committee or diversity and inclusion committee. Each one of you be involved in one of those committees and championing an area in that business. I'd like each of you to have a one-on-one catch-up with your direct reports every 2 weeks, minimum 15 minutes. I'd like you to think of 3 things you could do really differently right now, and let's discuss and work out a way forward. And what do you think? Would you like to join me in making Southern Rural Water a brilliant place to work, where we feel proud and our staff feel proud to work?